Alright, so the strategy we ran today was a 48 map test. And I was testing these scarabs and these sextants. I was testing hunted traders, harbinger, smuggler stash, and doubled catalysts. As you can see here, these are the sextants. I was running them with polished cardo, gilded metamorph, polished harby, and rusted ambush. The reason why I like cardo is because certain maps, certain layouts are actually generally kind of hot. Like if you drop strands or promenades or maps that people are running for the divine strategy, right? Which they drop a lot of corrupted maps, and so generally they want to buy some maps to set themselves up to eventually over sustain from. So those are good maps to favorite. In this case, I did promenades. Promenades sell for 4 chaos in bulk. So you see here in the excellence, it actually showed it as it being 3 chaos, but if you sell those in bulk, it's actually 4 chaos. It's pretty good if they're uncorrupted, right? Because people want to roll them for beyond. So yeah, that came to a bunch of our profits there. So these were our total costs. We had a total cost of 1,700 chaos across the 48 scarabs, sextants, all that stuff. So that means that the cost per map was 35 chaos, right? And yeah, so we ran that across 48 maps, and what we found is that we actually ended up profiting 3,600 chaos across the 48 maps. So that's 76 chaos gain per map. And that is because of all these. So as you can see here, we got like 43 complete sets of Taint parts, and people are buying these on TFT for 11 chaos a set because there's a challenge for it, right? So we made a total of 43 sets. We're not going to count the excess because we only want to sell the sets. And that adds up to around 473 chaos. We got 4,000 chaos in drops, so that's like all the chaos orbs, all the maps, all the ancient orbs, all that sort of stuff that we got from Harbingers, which is just the, you know, all this stuff here. All the essences, all the catalysts, things like that. Which, mind you, the catalysts also sell for more in bulk. Excellence might see them as whatever, 0.5 per, but if you go here and you type stock of like, say, 60, then you can see that the price is slowly going up. And if you type like stock of 100, then the stock is slowly going up as well. So yeah, that's because people are catalyzing omniscience gear and strength stacking and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that is why it costs that much. And of course we also got other catalysts. So the fertile catalysts in bulk are also pretty expensive. They cost 3 chaos per, but if you put it in bulk, then they can go up to like 4 chaos even. If we stock up a bunch of those, we can get a lot of them. And we also used the smuggler's cash because I feel like this is the most non-invasive yet the most currency that you can get out of a sextant. So if you can't think of like a sextant to use and you got some point spare on your tree, make sure that you actually get this sextant because we get a lot out of that. We had like 2 fully revealed blueprints in 48 maps. I think that's pretty unlucky, but it doesn't really matter too much. We priced those at 1x each, even though one of them is a gem blueprint. The gem blueprint is actually more expensive than 1x, but we're just gonna say 130 chaos per. The rest we got 4 gems, we got 5 replica, 3 enchanted, and 3 trinket. These are the prices you can see. Total we got from all the contracts and blueprints, it is 827 chaos. So across 48 maps, that's actually pretty good. So across 48 maps, it would be equals this divided by 48. So per map, we're making 17 chaos from just picking up blueprints and stuff. And as you can see here, the smuggler's cash is cost 2 chaos per map. So we're making 15 chaos per map just by having this sextant on there, which is pretty good. Like I would say that's very, very good. 15 chaos per map profit just by having that, because it cost us 2C per map. As you can see from this, it costs 108C for the total of the maps and 2C per map because it's 108C divided by 48. I bought all these sextants in bulk as well, so that should be very easy to sort of buy from people. Of course, the prices are as they are right now. More people might farm this and it'll make the profit margins a little bit smaller, but overall I think like it doesn't really matter. You can just like swap one thing out for another. There's other strategies that I ran, like maybe you could run ritual instead of traders, or ritual instead of instead of double lists. And you know, the thing about like the flexibility that we get on the Atlas passive tree now is like it's completely insane. We get to change our Atlas passive tree to accommodate for any strategy that we want to run. And in this case, this is the Alice passive tree that I was running. I chose to also take alpha missions because I want to replenish my alpha missions when I'm speed mapping. I took all of the Harbingers. I took all of the heists. I also took all of the Metamorph in aside for this, since this is just chance to get an extra Metamorph. But yeah, the tree is pretty flexible, but that's right here in the sheet as well. And yeah, so I would say that profit per hour, me running 12 maps every hour, I ended up getting around 908 chaos. That's once everything is sold, and that is profit. So I think that's a very, very good strategy. I would recommend it to people, but I would also recommend to maybe have a look at other strategies that I've ran and maybe mixing and matching. Like here, my you know, the ritual strategy with some legions maybe, and you could throw that in there. If you run legion, make sure you're running like a map that's not city square, but it still has multiple bosses, like maybe Strand. So Strand has 2 bosses, but you can accommodate for a legion in there. And yeah, so that is the city square strat. And yeah, I hope this helped. I hope this test actually showed something, because I think it's like much better than what I thought it was gonna be. And it was much more chill compared to maybe doing legions, because legions, there's a lot of clicking in legion and there's a lot less clicking in this. And I thought that was a pretty good strat to run. Yeah, somebody just asked, why city square? You run city square with the Harbinger sextant because there are 3 bosses in city square, and once you also put this, there's a 20% chance for those 3 bosses to duplicate. That means 6 bosses. This here says map bosses are accompanied by a mysterious Harbinger, and map bosses drop additional currency shards. So that means that every time you kill a boss, it drops a currency shard. And that is per boss. So if you have 6 bosses, that means that they all drop shards. So that's just extra profit, right? And that is why we also, if we use the sextant here, we want to be in maps where we're actually dropping, where there's more bosses. So yeah, as I said, like Strand would be a good one if you want to do Legion. There's 2 bosses there. You could do Precinct, right? But Precinct is a completely terrible layout in my opinion. I know it has a good divination card, but this would bring down my profits because of the amount of maps that I can run per hour, which I think is one of the most important metrics when running these strategies as well, is that you got to think to yourself, how long does it take me to run these maps, and how much am I getting per map? And that is something that is pretty evident when you're taking like statistics like this. I generally am not mindful at all about how much money I'm making per hour, because I'm more of a fun per hour type person. But when I want to make these experiments, then these are metrics that I have to keep in mind just to be able to recommend them to people and stuff like that. So yeah, that is why C square, and that's why I think you should pick a layout that's actually good, rather than, you know, trying to be like, this map has 5 bosses or whatever, because if it takes you 3 times as long to run that map, then that map sucks. It's not worth the currency shard, so it's just opportunity cost in that regard. But yeah, that's pretty much this strat, and all the stuff is available in spreadsheets, so you can always check that out, as well as other strategies. All my Alice passive trees are also available here, as well as other strategies if you want to have a look. But this is more like less sort of presented data and more just me keeping track of basically all I'm dropping in all my maps, mainly focused around Delirium and things like that. But yeah, that is it. City Square is better than Promenade for this strat? Yes. Again, because Promenade takes a lot longer to run, I would say. I think City Square just overall is just the best map, because it's so fast to run. It's so fast, like it's such a fast map to run. And also, City Square, you can run to the boss, kill the boss, and then you clear the rest of the map, and the shrines are just popping up. You know, yeah. Also, people are gonna be asking, why are you still running Eater World when the boss thing is worth a lot more from Searing Exarch? The reason for that is that in these map tests, yes, we're running maps fast, 12 maps per hour. That means that if we're running this, we have a 10% chance to get double progress, right? So we're gonna be getting 10% faster procs. But we're not running 1,000 maps, and we are still running our maps decently. like at a decent pace compared to someone that's just rushing the boss and then leaving. And Searing Exarch influence is insane. Like it's completely insane. The altars that drop all the scarabs, that drop duplicate currencies, things that you couldn't even actually truly like quantify because it's like, oh, duplicate currency. Look at all that chaos that we got. Look at all the scarabs that we got. This is all stuff that, like, yes, from time to time you'd be able to get from the boss or like from Searing Exarch as well. But in the way that I ran my maps, like, I'm getting so many more altars with Eater of Worlds than I am with Searing Exarch. So it just makes sense to run Searing Exarch, Eater of Worlds instead of Searing Exarch. Even though maybe the boss invite is worth a little bit more. But yeah. That is the strat.